Hello guys, today I want to look at this LeetCode question, number 88, merge sorted array. So here you are given two arrays, nums1 and nums2, and each one of them is sorted in a non-decreasing order. So your task is to merge them, merge nums1 and nums2, and make sure your final answer is also in a non-decreasing order. And then you are done. And then your final answer must be inside nums1. The final sorted array should not be returned by the function, but instead be sorted inside the array nums1. To accommodate this, nums1 has a length m plus n. So the length of nums1 is actually the length of nums2 plus the length of nums1 combined together, so that it can accommodate the final answer. So where the first m elements denote the elements that should be merged, and the last n elements are set to 0 and should be ignored. nums2 has a length of n. So nums2 has a length of n. nums1 has a length of m. Yeah, it has a length of m. So 1, 2, 3. So m is equal to 3. The extra zeros here are just there so that after merging, your final solution will be able to go into nums1. So in one way or the other, you end up adding the elements of nums2 to nums1. So these zeros are just placeholders to help nums1 be able to contain the final answer. So let's get to it. It's pretty simple. So this sounds like pointer problem. So let's plan. So here, the simple way to do it, or one simple way to do this, is to start a pointer at the end of the end of the last nons, like the end of the actual elements inside nums1. So we set a pointer here. You can call it P1 or whatever you want. Set another pointer to the end of nums2. And then you set the last pointer to this place. At the very, very end of nums1, where the zeros end. So you set one pointer to that place. You can call this P1. You can name them however you want them, actually. Maybe P2 and then maybe P3 or whatever you want. Yeah. So now you're going to move backwards with all these three pointers. So this pointer one is going to be moving backwards. Pointer 2 here is going to also be moving backwards. Pointer 3 will also be moving backwards as well. So what we do is that we compare the element at pointer 2 and the element at pointer 1 and see which one is bigger. And then we put the bigger element here. So in this case, 6 is bigger than 3. So we put 6 here. So we replace this 0 with 6. And then you have to move pointer 2 to 5 because we are done with 6. So pointer 2 move to 5. And then we compare 5 and 3. Which one is bigger? It's 5. So we put 5 here. And then once again, we move the pointer from 5 because we are done with 5. So you move the pointer to your next element here. We compare. In this case, 3 is bigger. So we put 3 here. And because we are done with 3, we move the pointer from 3 to the next element at the back here. But remember, whenever we put an element at this place, whenever we replace a 0 with an element, we need to move this pointer to the next place so that we can put 5 there. And then after we put 5 there, we need to move this pointer to this place so that we can put another element at this place. So whenever you put an element at the end of nums1 to replace a 0, remember to move the pointer there. Remember to decrease the pointer every time you do that. So this is basically what the question is. So once the elements in nums2 get finished, you are done. And in case the elements of nums2 don't get finished, but your nums1 has been exhausted, then you continue to add in the elements from nums2 to nums1. You continue to add until nums2 is also exhausted. And then you are done. So let's get to the code. It's pretty much simple. So we have pointer pointing to this place. You have another pointer pointing to the back of nums2. So let's initiate them. Let's say you have nums1 pointer, PTR. This is the pointer pointing to this place, nums1 pointer. And then we also have nums2 PTR, nums2 pointer. It's also the pointer pointing to the back of this place. So let's set them equal to m-1 and -1 respectively, because m is the non-zero number of non-zero elements inside nums1, 1, 2, 3. So that is m. So m-1 means the last element. And the same applies to this n-1, also the last element there. So now we have one more pointer to set. So let's call this nums1 end. And nums1 end is the pointer we are setting to the very end of nums1. Not this place, but the very end where we are going to be adding elements. So that's this pointer. And let's set it to -1 because you're setting to the end. Index -1 means the end. So now you can start a loop. Wow. nums1 PTR is greater than -1. You know why it's greater than -1? Because we need to go. It starts from P1 here, so it needs to go until we reach 0. The same thing applies to P2. It also needs to go until it reaches 0. So end nums2 PTR is also greater than -1. So, and then we compare the elements at those two positions. So if nums1 PTR, okay, if nums1 at PTR, at nums1 PTR, the element at nums1 is less or equal to the element at nums2 PTR. Okay, nums2, yeah. If this is the case, that means the elements at this place at nums2 is bigger than this. So we put the elements at nums2 at the very end here. So this is how we do that. nums1 at this index, nums1 end. Remember, nums1 end is a pointer, is P3, is a pointer pointing to the very large 0. So we need to put the bigger element there. And then, so this is how we do that. nums1 end, yeah. So that position, we need to put 6 there. So it's equal to this one here. It's equal to that nums2 PTR. Yep. And then remember, because we are done with 6, we need to decrement this pointer. So this is that pointer right here. So we decrease it, minus equal to 1. Else, we do the opposite. Else, if that's not the case, that means the element at this place is bigger. So in that case, we put that element there. So that means here is supposed to be nums1, and here is supposed to be also nums1. And then remember, we are decreasing that. So nums1 PTR minus equal to 1. And whether we added the element from nums2 or from nums1 to this place, we need to decrement P3 every time. So let's do that here. nums1 and minus equal to 1. And then we're almost done with the code. Now it's left with the last part. So when we exhaust nums 1, and then there are still elements in nums 2. We continue to add them. So that's what we're going to do. So while nums 2 ptr is greater than -1, and nums 1 ptr is less or equal to -1. And this condition here is the same as deleting this one. Deleting this here is the same thing. It's literally the same thing. While nums2 pointer is greater than -1 and nums1 pointer is less or equal to -1. You can write it as this one, just this, and it's the same thing. So while that, what do? There are still elements here, so let's continue to add them. So it's the same as doing this here. nums1. So this is equal to, but in this case, we change it to nums2, right? Because we are adding the elements from nums2. So 2, and then here is also 2. And remember, whenever we add an element, we need to move this pointer back. So this is that pointer here. Let's copy that here. So this. So this is basically the whole code and everything. Let me try it and see. Okay, unexpected indents. Oh, let me move this backwards. Okay, let's see. But that one is not defined. Okay, nums1. Oh, it's supposed to be an underscore. Yeah. Okay, so now let me submit it. You see that it works. Yeah, so that's basically it. So if you like this solution, subscribe to the channel, because my channel has a lot of videos on different stuff, and it's a very interesting channel. So you might want to subscribe to it, like the video, and I'm hoping to make more videos. Any question you want me to solve from LeetCode or anything, just comment below. Thank you so much for this. Okay.